Hey, everybody. Welcome back to another episode of Built Like This podcast. I'm your host, Maxine, on episode 338. Ooh, it's been a slow news week, huh? Boom. Yes, I worked on that all day. All right. So clearly Diddy is in the news. Well, he's not in the news, he's in the jail cell. He is in the jail cell. I mean, this was inevitable, I would say. And allegedly, he's been aware that this was going to happen, which explains his recent behavior. So, in recent months and in even the last year or two, he's been somehow righting his wrongs. So, he's been allowing his artists to have publishing of their records. So now they have access to the whole amount of their sales, and hopefully they can make a profit from that. However that works. I'm not in the music business, but that's what I'm understanding. He's been giving money out to his alma mater, Howard University, and another school, I believe. I also know that he gave a check, which turned out to be a fraudulent check, to Earn Your Leisure. Um, he's coming around with his new moniker, Love, Brother Love. That's his new name now. Because, over the years, ever since we've known Puff, he's changed his name. It was Puff Daddy, it was Puffy, P. Diddy, and then Diddy, Diddler now. I mean, the name changes on and on and on. So people are saying he's been aware that this time his end, he knew that it was going to come. So at the very least, he's trying to right his wrongs in hopes that his sentencing or just a court of public opinion will go easy on him, and there'll be more people or there'll be some people at least to come to his defense. Like, oh, well, he's done so much for me. He's given me money. He's returned my publishing and X, Y, and Z. Ray J is the only person that I am seeing come forward publicly. And I want to say necessarily in defense of Diddy, but he's spoken about the whole situation in a manner that's not villainize him and make him suffer and he's disgusting for, like, he's not egging on the bandwagon that it is to villainize Diddy. Instead, he is coming from a place of understanding and sympathy, and this is why we should come together so we can have these conversations. And it's actually quite balanced, I would say. It's quite balanced. And I'm saying that because during times like this, of course, the easy response, the easy way to go about your opinion is to go along with the get along, is to go along with the bandwagon. And the bandwagon, rightfully so, yes, is to villainize Diddy, is to make him out to be this disgusting person who is a monster. And absolutely, all of that is still true. I'm not trying. Mexi, where you going with this? Where the fuck are you? Hold on. You know me. I like to have a nuanced conversation because life is really nuanced. My reality is different than someone else who's living in the same block as me, right? Who's living in the same type of profession as I'm talking like I'm like an escort or something. But like, seriously, people could work in the same workplace, people could live in the same home, but they have different realities, they have different mindsets, X, Y, and Z. Why did I bring that point up? Oh my gosh, something's going on. But anyway, the point is, I could appreciate the humility, I would say, Ray J is displaying here on Chris Cuomo. Yo, Chris Cuomo. Look, if I was an Italian mommy, If I was, oh, but you could be blocking. I get it, but still, you know what I mean. You know what I mean. The point is, Chris Cuomo's back. Chris Cuomo is back, and I'm happy to see it. I'm happy to see it. He still looks good. He's a good man, Savannah. He's a good man. Okay. Also, the conversation is now moving into, well, yes, prostitution is illegal, right? It's an illegal act to participate in. It's an illegal act to take reign in. It's illegal. Yet Nevada is not illegal. It's legalized in Nevada. And if you go out of the country, like the DR, I don't know if it's necessarily legalized, but they're not harsh on crime there. And I do want to point out the intricacies in language, the intricacies in when you change the word of something, suddenly the sentiment of the new change to that word that was used previously is now darker, is now sinister, right? Because back in the day, it was pimping. Hello, is the mic on? Back in the day, it was pimping. You were pimping out your hoe. You had a hoe, you pimped her out. You was in charge of collecting the funds and giving her $20 out of the 200 you made that night. Yet you justified it because, well, I'm taking care of you. I'm taking care of you. You don't have to worry about rent. I'm paying the rent. You know, you're my vessel to pay this rent. You're my way of getting on with life. Now, it becomes a slippery slope sometimes when some of the women involved in prostitution are not either of age or they don't have the right to leave the profession. They're coerced to stay in it, and they're scared out of their mind from leaving the profession. I mean, it's a job. They're scared from leaving it, so I'm just gonna stay in it, right? And oftentimes their pimps will be abusive. But I want us to imagine a world. Hear me out. I want us to imagine a world where it could be ethical prostitution. I want us to imagine a world where, as much as we talk about my body, my choice, we are also allowing that same liberty for those who choose to be a lady of the night. I just want us to imagine a world, because we're in a space where we're all about free love, and there are more conversations about polyamory, polygamy, and just alternative relationships. Hell, gay marriage is legal. Here we go. Oh, here we go. Homophobe Maxine, right? But my point is, I just want us to have these conversations because there's something there. What was once illegal is now legal. There are so many instances of things that were once illegal. They're now legal. Marijuana, for example. I remember telling y'all when I went home during a summer month. I think it was in June, but maybe it was another time prior that I noticed this. But nonetheless, I was home back in Boston. That's where I'm from. And I remember hearing that weed got legalized in the state of Massachusetts, but I just didn't follow up with it, or I just didn't really believe it because I grew up when it wasn't legalized. I grew up when it was seen as this taboo thing to even discuss, to be involved in. And if you did do it, you're a rebel, you're a vagabond, you're a disgusting person, you don't want anything in life, it's a gateway drug. Remember that conversation? Marijuana was a gateway drug. And look, maybe I'm still old school, because I do think there's a kernel of truth there. Don't kill me. Yes, I know. I've been smoking weed my whole life. I still haven't done crack. Good for you. Good. But there are people who do continue to dabble further and further and further, and it leads them down a horrible road. I do think that's a real thing. Anyway, the point is, there are so many examples of things that were once illegal, things that were once demoralized and seen as just disgusting. They're now acceptable. You could now have weed visibly laid at the dinner table with a group of friends and family, and there's no shame because, hey, it's legal. It's like suddenly there's a switch that's been turned on or off, whichever way you want to look at it. And people who suddenly felt one way about marijuana suddenly feels the total polar opposite way. And I just find it to be very fascinating. This is no shame. Live your life however you want. Have the lifestyle of your choice. That's fine. But I want to talk about just the society that we're in and how we're conditioned to look at one thing a particular way. And all of a sudden, when that thing is made to be seen as recreational and not a big deal, and there's no addiction that comes from it, and the propaganda for it is no longer scary, suddenly your mind is now shifted to this new lifestyle, and now you once was sober and now you're not, because you're told that you don't have to be, and it's fine, it's not illegal, and you don't, it's not a gateway drug. Let me take a sip, y'all, because when I'm saying, I'm spitting truth, and you know exactly what I'm saying. Yeah, okay, I'm just too excited right now. Nothing like a fresh, chilled bottle of water from my hydro flask. If only I was sponsored from them. Soon come. Anyway, the point is, there's been too many examples of things that were once illegal and is now a norm. Now, when we talk about prostitution, when we talk about selling your body, because that's what you're doing, you're selling your body for a cost. How much do you deserve? How much are you allowing yourself to be spent? How much? I remember growing up, if you put a cost to your body, you're seen as disgusting, right? Oh my gosh, you shouldn't think like that. You're disgusting. How much do you think you should, you're putting your cost to yourself. Like you're cheap for even thinking like that, which I do appreciate. I appreciated that sentiment, because people want you to see yourself beyond the dollar, beyond the amount. But we're already legalizing that already, if that makes sense. So OnlyFans is a legalized form of prostitution. Yes, I'm not necessarily meeting you and having sex with you, but I'm having sex with myself with the aid of your nude pictures that's visibly on a mainstream website that I do have to sign up for. But nonetheless, you see what I'm saying? Like, there's so many loopholes and avenues to still get to what I'm getting at. It just hasn't been legalized for real in this country, like fully. So anyway, if we just thought about a life, because I think it'll happen. I really do. When hold on, when did let's do some history. When did prostitution become illegal? That's the question, because I remember in the Bible reading examples of women who were prostitutes. They did this back then in biblical times. This is not something that's new. This is not something that was, in recent years. This is something that is the longest profession ever. When did the United States of America decide you shouldn't sell your body? Like, just think about that for a second. Think about that for a second. I'm now mandated not to do what I please with my body. We talk a lot about, oh, you should vote for Kamala Harris because she's protecting women's rights and the right to your body and reproductive rights and what else? Just having the autonomy to do whatever you please with your body, right? You want the right to abort your kid, but I can't have sex for money? Like, why does that have to be separate? It's still my body, right? It's still my body, my choice. Okay. Prostitution became illegal in the United States in stages. It happened in stages, beginning with the Mann Act in 1910. There were few laws criminalizing prostitution. Local governments tried to regulate prostitution, but were mostly unsuccessful. So what does that tell me? It's telling me that there were times when the government locally, they tried to control how prostitution was had. Why were they trying to control it? Because this is my theory. These prostitutes were making some money. They were making moolah. And the government wanted a piece. Oh, you're making a business? You're making a profitable business from your body? And you're not cutting me a share? Huh. How can I fix that? How can I overcome your bodily autonomy so I could get a cut? It's all about the money, y'all. Follow the money. The Mann Act took place in 1910, also known as the White Slave Traffic Act. That's an interesting name. Hold on with that. Okay, hold on. Right. So remember how I said pimping, prostitution was the terminology that was a common terminology used when describing prostitution. Now, what is it called? Trafficking. Sex trafficking. Human trafficking. Oh, trafficking. Trafficking has such a negative connotation. Like, you sound like, you're someone who is tied up in a U-Haul truck and you can't escape, and there's 10 men coming in just using you like a rag doll. When it's yes, of course, there are instances when that do happen, sure. But a lot of these escort, and again, now with escorts is a different term, but it's the same act. Why? Oh, because I'm dealing with high ballers? I'm dealing with high ballers? I'm still getting paid for sex. And hopefully one of these Johns would like me enough to get me out of this lifestyle and I don't have to keep on working. Like, who wants to work? I mean, I know I came on here a few episodes ago talking about you gotta love what you do, or there is purpose in work, don't get me wrong, but eventually your body wears thin, particularly if you are working as a prostitute. Your body is wearing thin. You're wearing yourself thin. So there's that. But yeah, there's so many different terminologies for the same act. Oh, I don't sleep with him, but I'll just accompany him. He'll pay me something. I mean, eventually you will sleep with him because he's gonna say, look, I want some of that punani. How much should I give you for it? You're going to have to figure out the calculations of that so that you can leave this transaction in a way that best suited your needs. How much is rent? How much is your mortgage? How much is your car note? How much do you need a month to maintain your lifestyle? Double that so that you have some cushion and go ahead and get that. You know what I mean? Go ahead and get that money. Do what you got to do for that money. So the point is, we have these different terms. We have prostitute, we got hoe, we got human trafficking, we got sex trafficking, we have escorts. I'm an escort. We have lady of the night. It's the same shit. We have OnlyFans. It's the same. We have call girls. We have, what else? Just amateur girls. I mean, the list goes on. Okay. 1910, the Mann Act, also known as the White Slave Traffic Act, prohibited the interstate transportation of women and girls for immoral purposes. Immoral purpose. Like, who the fuck? And I don't like, let me take a sip, because I don't like that. I don't like that. Who are you to tell me what's immoral or moral? Who are you? Now, granted, this conversation is for adults. I do think there's a line that needs to be drawn here. But going back to Diddy, there is that one case of that woman, Jane Doe. She did not come out with her full identity. She's hiding herself, but she does claim that she was 17. I mean, that is shy of 18, but nonetheless, she was still underage. And she said she was taken advantage of by Diddy and Andre Harrell. No. The Pierre guy. I think Andre Harrell is allegedly gay. I mean, they're all gay from what I'm gathering. Who knows? Allegedly, Trey Songz too, which is so sad to hear. Yo. Okay, 1915. Nearly all states had passed laws that banned brothels or regulated prostitution profits. After World War II, prostitution remained prohibited in most Western countries, but was unofficially tolerated in some cities. So just like I was saying, like, for example, I know DR is not in America, but I don't know if it's necessarily promoted as a legal act to participate in DR, but I do hear that it is very commonplace in DR for some of the women there. I don't know how many. I don't know the percentage, but it is commonplace for them to engage in prostitution with passport bros so that they could get some money and support themselves accordingly. I mean, that's what every prostitute wants and desires for and needs for their job. All right, 1971, every state except Nevada had outlawed sex for sale. The federal government also prohibits prostitution near military establishments. The federal penal code allows for fines and up to 10 years in prison for prostitution or related offenses. Got it. So it started in stages, but it officially began in 1910. And then after some years, 1971, that's when every state in America, except for Nevada, had outlawed sex for sale. Now, again, just because things are outlawed, just because things are illegal, doesn't mean that suddenly everyone just stops. Everybody on mute. Like, no, you're still going to do what you want to do. Anyway, why did I bring that whole part up? I bring it up because imagine if we could live in a time. Oh, utopia, huh? No, I just think it's I think it's ironic. I think it's funny. I think it's strange. I think it's peculiar. I think it's something for us to unpack some more, that we get so caught up in the whole my body, my choice. And we get so caught up in, you don't take away my reproductive right. I should be able to abort my kid no matter what age or stage I am in the pregnancy, but I can't sell my body for some money. it's the oldest profession for a reason, right? Like if you don't have any skill, if you don't have any work experience, or you just got laid off, if your expenses are more than your income, there's a lot of reasons why women decide to sell themselves. And it could be for a little amount of time to a career, or a long-standing career. I'm not necessarily condoning it, but I think I want us to just get to a place in society where we're really recognizing the hypocrisy in all the things. It's very hypocritical. It's just strange to me. Anyway, Diddy's in jail. He didn't get bail. Is that fair? Is it not? Because there are murderers, or alleged murderers at the time. I guess they were eventually found not innocent but guilty. Nonetheless, there are people who are accused of murder, of just heinous crimes. Well, I mean, murder's the only way I could think of that's like worse than, well, not even worse, but at the same rate as RAPE. Rape, I say it like that. And they've gotten bail, but Diddy has not gotten bail. Even though his passports have been revoked, as well as his kids' passports. Like there's no way for him to evacuate. I mean, there we have it. It's the fall of a legend, one would say. He definitely is the makeup of many of ours, upbringing, childhood overall. And it is, it's hard to watch in some situations. Like, dang, just the reality of the fact that you have some of these big moguls, and seeing how far they've fallen. It's a unsightly sight to see. So let's take a moment and listen or watch. If you're watching me on YouTube, hello, how you think I look today? I look good. And let's see how Ray J is somehow coming to the defense, or just a balanced opinion when it comes to Diddy and what he's going through.
Ray J has known Diddy most of his life. He considers him a mentor as well as one of his closest friends. He has not spoken out since Diddy's arrest. Joins us now. Appreciate you taking the opportunity.
What's up, Chris? How you doing?
I'm good, and I'm happy to meet you. Thank you. What do you want people to know about how these allegations hit you?
I mean, first and foremost, can we talk about Ray J? Ray J is a hot mess. He's been a hot mess since he pushed Princess Love into the pool. Okay. Now, granted, that situation was nuance as well. She kept throwing things at him and was walking up towards him, wanting to throw more at him, and he just like nudged her out of the way, and they happened to already be standing next to a pool, and she fell down. I mean, all of that happened the way that it did. I'm not saying he's abusive necessarily, but his background, his back, he doesn't look all clean either. It'd be one thing if it was someone with a clean rap sheet, or no rap sheet at all, were saying things of goodness, right? Of good character about Diddy. And Ray J, actually, there was another controversy that happened with him just recently, because I don't know why he recorded it. What was the purpose? But not just recorded it, but is now available online for everyone to see, of him convincing his children to not say that their mom is hurt or is in need of the police. He's trying to revise history or what's going on right in their face. It's a very interesting I don't know. I'm just saying, Ray J isn't like the best spokesperson for this particular situation. Nonetheless, let's just continue.
Had you ever thought you would hear this about the man?
I didn't. And I think it's a different time in this game. And when you look at our mentors and the people that have kind of shaped this culture, it's important to acknowledge the mistakes that they've made. And we have to hold everybody accountable for what they've done. But I don't think this is a time to tear anybody down, right?
We'll see what he's saying right there. He's proven that I guess his allegiance is still to Diddy, which look, is fair. It's fair. I I could respect that in a strange way. And the reason why I could respect that is, again, it's so easy to jump on the bandwagon of Diddy ain't shit and he's monster and he needs to, be under the jail, and all that could still be true, and you could still say something like what Ray J is saying. I'm not telling you to go one way or the other, but it's interesting.
Instead, it's a time for this industry and everybody that's going through this and seeing this to learn from the mistakes and create a roadmap for the future of the industry together, right? In unity. I think that's the next plan that I think needs to be put in play. And with all the allegations and everything that's been going on, it is definitely shaking this industry up. So the importance of unity right now, I think, is the key to a positive future.
Why do you think we haven't heard from anyone until now?
I just feel like a lot of people are in shock. A lot of people are dealing with it in their own way. But in times like these, I mean, we should come together. We should talk about it as a community. It's easy to divide and point fingers, but unity is where you build. You can have a stronger future for the culture. I mean, Diddy's been an icon for decades. We've all listened to his music. We've all been around him, that at least in my era, and have looked up to him. And in this situation, it's super unfortunate, but it's important to learn a lesson right now, and ensure the next generation understands how to move differently with transparency and integrity. And I think transparency and integrity moving forward should be non-negotiable.
I hear you. And look, we need that in every culture. You hear and may know what I hear, which is people aren't coming out because they either suspected this about him or they don't want to have any connection to him. And then I guess there's another group who's worried they're going to get pulled in, which is one of the suggestions from prosecutors. When you were with him, you had to have heard the kinds of things that other people heard about what Diddy could be about on the dark side and excesses of his. What did you make of what you heard, and what did you ever see for yourself that gave you an opinion about what he was about?
Well, for myself, and I think a lot of other people in this industry, I mean, it's all a shock because, we've never seen the stuff that's being said and the stuff that people are finding out. Like, I've never been in rooms that people are talking about, and I never knew they existed. And a lot of people in the industry can agree with me on that sense. Like, you all wanted to go and have a good time at a Diddy party, and you wanted to be inspired.
I'm gonna call Cap though.
You wanted to go out.
I'm gonna call Cap. I know, I haven't been there. I'm not a witness or anything, but the point is, the industry is small. From what I could gather from all these conversations and all the whistleblowing and people coming forward saying, yeah, they were there. You can't tell me Ray J, who had the show For the Love of Ray J, who's known for being a bachelor, who's known for partying and all of that. You cannot tell me and expect for me to believe that Ray J had no part in any of these freak offs. You cannot tell me that. You cannot tell me that. First of all, they have a friendship, and I think Diddy, of course, put him on. Like, hey, look, I got someone for you. Come to my party. Da, da, da. It's one thing to attend a Diddy party, which I'm sure a lot of people did in the industry. And there are pictures that document that. But it's another thing to not just attend the party, but stay until the freak offs would take place. And I cannot tell you that I believe Ray J had no part in that. Like, come on, Ray J, come on.
and have a good time, and then you wanted to go the next day to work, and you wanted to work hard in this good vibe, you know. And so to see where we are now, I just think everybody is still trying to digest it and still trying to understand it. And even though, you know, there's still allegations and it's not anything that's
just allegation
factual yet, but it is, it's hurtful, and it's confusing to a lot of people. I mean, we all grew up, you know, listening to Puff and Bad Boy, and they represented success and resilience, but it comes with responsibility. And when people fall
out to play.
Right now, we just need to use it as a moment to reflect, not to criticize, but find a better way to move forward as leaders, individuals, in this culture that we're in right now.
I mean, hey, God bless Ray J, because I think it takes a lot of strength to come forward and say something like that. So, hey, in that same vein, 50 Cent decided to come forward and say that the reason why J-Lo divorced J-Lo divorced Ben Affleck, is allegedly she found out that he was involved in a freak off. One of the freak offs that Diddy held, and there's apparently footage that support that, of Ben Affleck with a minor. Allegedly. These are all opinions and theories, and nothing is proven as true. This is all alleged. But I'm gonna go ahead and play this clip because I find this to be very interesting. I mean, it was pretty quick, very steadfast. I mean, it is expected. It is of nature of J-Lo to divorce and be done and move on to someone new. But maybe there's something there. Let's take a listen.
50 Cent just roped Jennifer Lopez into Diddy's case, accusing her of allegedly having freak-offs with minors at Diddy's parties. And he brought some solid proof to back up his words. You all know that 50 Cent does not play when it comes to taking Diddy down. And this time, he is also coming for Diddy's associates, including J-Lo. For a long time, we thought that J-Lo's only involvement with Diddy was that 1995 shooting that set up Shine to take the fall. But it looks like she may have continued to take part in Diddy's shenanigans long after they broke up. And get this, 50 Cent is also claiming that Ben Affleck knew about it. This is why he chose to leave J-Lo before everything came crashing down. But what exactly did Ben know about J-Lo's activities? And was Diddy really blackmailing J-Lo with the footage of her and the young boys? Well, let 50 Cent tell it, he has all the answers, and y'all won't believe the things he has to say. If there's one person that we all know has had a history with Diddy, it's J-Lo. She and Diddy dated in the late 90s, and there have been many speculations about how she was Diddy's right-hand woman, and knew more than she was letting on. It was kind of like a Bonnie and Clyde situation, and she was definitely the Bonnie to his Clyde, if you know what I mean. But for some reason, the true nature of the extent of her relationship with Diddy has always been kept securely under wraps. Sure, we knew that she and Diddy dated, but the streets have always talked about how there was more to the story than we knew, and how she's always had something to hide, especially with that 1999 shooting. So picture this, Diddy and J-Lo were out at a club in Times Square.
Okay, this video didn't tell me anything about what I just said. That's how people get views, huh? I got God, huh? I got God. Y'all got God too. We got God at the same time, because I did not vet this before.
50 Cent just roped Jennifer
before playing this for y'all. I mean, whatever. That's the risk you take. That's the risk you take. Okay, anyway, let's move on. A rodent is on the loose. Huh? How did we get here, Maxine? Look, this story I found to be interesting, so of course I'm going to share. Okay, hold on. Silly ad. Okay, there is an animal called a capybara. What is that? Apparently, it's a part of the rodent family. But a capybara does not look like a regular rodent. Like, it doesn't look like, like a roach or whatnot. It just looks like a beaver, but slightly taller. And, it's not laying down on the floor. Let me show y'all a picture. Okay, make sure you are watching me on YouTube so you are seeing what I am saying. Hello? So yeah, take a look here. So this is how a capybara looks like. It is originally from South America and is it's the world's largest It's the world's largest species of a rodent. Imagine seeing this type of rodent in your home. How does that was so funny? So yeah, it's you know how you go to these super sites and there's these weird ads. This I'm showing y'all an ad right now. Someone removing this dark spot from their skin, like on their face. So freaking gross. Hunt for Telford capybara paused as runaway rodent continues to evade attempts to recapture her. Isn't that so funny? Like this rodent, it's this it's not a bug. It's not a bug, but I mean, we call all the other regular rodents that we typically see in the house or around the house, we call them rodents, we call them bugs. And yet this is called it's a part of the rodent family. It's the largest species of a rodent. So of course you won't find this running around in your house. Hopefully, that's kind of weird. But attempts to recapture a runaway capybara, if I'm saying it wrong, please forgive me, that escaped from a Telford zoo have been paused. Cinnamon is the name of this rodent. She made her break for freedom last Friday. I read this whole article, or I read parts of it, and I thought it was so funny. Like, oh, Cinnamon made her break for freedom last Friday after slipping out of her enclosure at Who Zoo, and she hadn't been since. She hadn't been seen since this time, but this is obviously further back. I think she's been found. Searches were conducted in the area, and the renegade rodent was spotted by a drone just 200 yards from where she escaped. The attempts to recapture her are being foiled by dense undergrowth, the zoo has said. In an update, Who Zoo said keepers were again trying to find her on Wednesday night. Like, how fast is this rodent? Like, this is how the rodent looks. And I'm wondering, is it just this one, or is this a mother with her two cubs and they're running together trying to flee and live a life of freedom? That's all we really want. We want to be free. If you want to sell your body, sell your body. Sell your body. No, I mean it's the free my body, my choice. The zoo said she was spotted again by a thermal drone within 5 meters of the same location. Unfortunately, this area is extremely dense with almost impenetrable undergrowth that Cinnamon can easily move under, but we cannot. So she has the advantage. Oh, this is so funny. I don't know if they found her, but I don't feel like continuing the article. But I just thought it was a little funny story. This leads me to our next story here. So Chimp crazy. What am I talking about? I feel like that's a term or label that's been used before prior to the release of this documentary, this docuseries. It's a limited docuseries on Max. And it's called Chimp Crazy. It's the first season of it. I don't know if there'll be another season, or will it change every season to a different animal that you're crazy about? Anyway, this first season is about people who are crazy for chimps. And there is a whole community of people who are crazy for chimps. I'm blown away. I watched the entire thing. It's a 4-episode docuseries, and 10 out of 10. 10 out of 10. If you could just spare yourself 4 hours, or if you want to break it up, but I really encourage you to watch it. I think it's fascinating, and I think it's quite enlightening. After watching it, and even while watching it, I came to the realization that there are people who just love to care for people or animals in a way that it feeds their purpose in life. there are a lot of women, not a lot, I would say, but there are some women. There are women out here. Let me say that there are women out here who believe that their purpose in life is to be a mother, is to be a caretaker. And that's totally fine. I respect that. That's admirable, yada, yada, yada. But there's a fine line to wanting to be a mother and a caretaker and only that, or finding your identity in that only, because eventually your kids, your children, they grow up. Right? Did you forget that part? They don't stay a baby forever. They don't stay handicapped to you forever. They eventually grow up. They form their own opinions. They form their own behavioral patterns. They find their independence and they stick by it and they stand up against you and they go out and explore life and they may never return home. They may never return home. And boom, you're stuck now with this identity solely based on being a mother, when your child has completely moved on and graduated from being your handicapped child. And I'm saying handicapped in a metaphorical sense. Yes, we know there are children who are handicapped, and there are parents, there are mothers in particular who do care for that child in a longer fashion compared to a child who's not handicapped. All that is obvious. But the point is, there are women who only find their identity and their selves in motherhood. And I find that to be very troubling because, again, their children, they grow up just like you. You were once a child, remember? You were once a child. And now you are no longer. Now you are an adult and you are navigating yourself in life, and you've built a career for yourself. You built a community for yourself. You built yourself, built like this podcast, right? The point is, you grow up and you find yourself moving further and further, whether literally or figuratively, from your parents. That's just how life is. It doesn't mean that you love your parent any less. It doesn't mean that you are in less awe of them or respect. It's none of that. It's just a part of life. It's a part of life. Anyway, this brings me to the Chimp Crazy series, which that's exactly what it was. It was crazy. It was people who were crazy about chimps, because chimps, they saw them as their children, as another form of children. And there were some women on the docuseries talking about they actually love this chimp more than they do their own children, more than the children that they gave birth to. They love this chimp more. Why? Because the chimp depends on the woman for life. For life. The chimp is not eventually going to get a degree and get a job and have a retirement fund. Like, no, the chimp is with you forever, for life. For life. And it's, I don't know, maybe it's a investigation of narcissism. Maybe it's an investigation of narcissism. I'm wondering if it's that, because how can I keep on having kids that will always want me, that will always need me, that will always depend on me? Me. How can you feed my ego? I want to be fed. I want you to need me. There's no like letting go of that. So maybe there's some narcissism there. That's what I literally just came up with that. So I'm a genius. Hello? But yeah, check it out. Chimp Crazy is on Max. It is very crazy. It's fascinating. But let me just read this overview in case all of that of what I just said was not clear for you. But former nurse turned exotic animal broker Tanya Haddix spends her days caring for animals in captivity, referring to herself as the Dolly Parton of chimps. However, her limitless love for one chimpanzee spins into a wild cat and mouse game with authorities and an animal rights group. It's quite fascinating. Okay, so Definitely check it out. 10 out of 10. I do recommend. Okay. Michael Eric Dyson. Let's talk about him for a second. Who is Michael Eric Dyson? In case y'all don't know, he's a commentator. He's a professor. Is he a doc? Does he have a doctorate degree? I'm not sure. I gotta respect that. I gotta respect it. But there's some controversy happening with him. He's a staunch Kamala groupie. He's a stunt because he's a Democrat. He's one of those black men out here in the media streets because he's been on black media platforms such as The Breakfast Club, and this is not a black media platform, but The View is another staunch media platform. Anyway, the point is he's super democratic, like totally leftist. And he was on a show on CNN debating with a lady named Nancy Mace. So again, Michael Eric Dyson is the leftist point of view, as Nancy Mace is the right point of view. And they're discussing what's going on politically in this current climate. Nancy Mace is a white woman, brunette hair. I think she's fairly attractive. She dresses well. I think she got it going on. She looks good. She looks good. Let me go ahead and play this clip of what I just found of their interaction. And the purpose of this is obviously when you have two polar opposites coming on a show to share their thoughts and opinions on what's going on politically in this current climate, it's gonna spark up some high intensity emotions and is going to engage a lot of engagement. There are people who will look into this and it will be retweeted and yada yada yada. So there's a purpose behind it. So I'm gonna play this first.
That's the history and legacy of white disregard for the humanity of black people.
So now you're calling me racist.
I didn't say. I just said you weren't a
BS.
racist.
That is complete.
You don't have to intend racism to
No. You are
accomplish it.
intending that
Your
I'm
disrespect
racist,
of Kamala
and
Harris
that
is part and parcel of a
why
tradition
can't you
of
just-
disrespect.
It's offensive,
Congresswoman,
and it's
why can't you
it's
just?
offensive.
I'm
and
not
it's
calling you a
disgusting.
racist. I'm telling you what the practice is
You
racist.
are. You
Why can't
absolutely
you
are.
just
The
hear
practice
what
is
I'm
racist.
saying?
Let me get
Disrespecting. No, what's disgusting
That
is
is
your
disgusting.
disrespect of her.
Professor.
This gentleman said,
You know what?
I didn't know her name.
Disgusting
He's
to
trying
women
to do
is
it.
her disrespect of women. She doesn't know what a woman is. And if 25 years ago,
White women don't have the ability to tell black women who paid the price of blood to make this country what it is to tell them they're not real women.
25
They
years
care
ago,
for your babies
25
and
years ago,
respected
I
your
became
humanity.
the first woman to graduate from the Citadel, the military.
Okay.
I would like to also enter into the record a screenshot of a text message I received from the esteemed professor from Vanderbilt, Michael Eric Dyson, after my CNN interview, begged me for photos. In this text, he says, after calling me racist on CNN, shh, don't tell anybody, we look good together, and sent me a kissy emoji.
Without
Then
objection.
the guy
Order.
says I'm gorgeous in all these photos. I don't think he's that bent out of shape on how anyone pronounces Kamala. And if we're going to have that standard, you got to hold it to both sides, not just one or the other.
I love it. Call him to the carpet. Call him to the carpet because again, you have him on this platform of CNN.
That's the history and
Calling her out. Yes, he didn't say the word racist, but he was strong. He was heavily implying that she was being racist. I don't know what exactly, but what I could gather, maybe she didn't pronounce Kamala's name correctly. Maybe she just said Kamala, like a lot of us do, because it's just, sometimes you naturally say it the other way. It's not clearly obvious to say it Kamala. Anyway, the point is, it was a mishap. I don't think necessarily think it's intentional. Who knows? And maybe she does have racism in her. Who knows? The point is, it's been so loosely used, the term racist. You're racist. You're racist. It's like, no. I just said nigger one time. I'm kidding. It's a joke. It's a joke. Come on. Just chill out. The point is, it's funny because he's going at her super hard, yet
I would like to also enter into the record a screenshot of a text message I received from the esteemed professor from Vanderbilt,
that shade, the esteemed professor, like, okay.
Michael Eric Dyson, after my CNN interview, begged me for photos. In this text, he says, after calling me racist on CNN,
it's so funny to me because, yeah, he's doing all this, but he slid in her DMs though. A man is a man is a man is a man. Okay. Anyway, what did he say in those DMs? Now he's over here. He came on the record trying to, clean his good name.
Exploit the situation. This is the text exchange. I sent her, Abby Phillip, the host of the show, suggested we take pictures. I said, let's take a picture. She's
see what he just said, that now he's blaming it on another person, another woman. Girl, bye. Well, the host of the show suggested that we take a photo. Girl, Michael Eric Dyson, you are a grown ass man. If you didn't want to take a photo, you didn't have to take a photo. Okay, I could have told you that. But I'm gonna show y'all this photo. Because he didn't look like a man who didn't want to take a photo with her. He didn't look like that. Yo, you know how men are when they're taking a photo with strangers, not even with strangers, when they're passing by you, they always gotta find an excuse to hold on to your waist. I'm sorry, sir. Why is your hand on my waist? Why is your hand above my ass? Sir, why is your dick in my ass right now? Hello? Your dick is in my ass. That's the name of this episode. Your dick is in my ass. Obviously, I can't do that. I can't put that title up, but that'll be a good ass episode title, huh?
Abby said, when you post it, then tag me too, and then we'll have fun. Because the whole point was two bipolar opposites. Michael Eric Dyson on one side, Nancy Mace on the other.
This nigga stating the obvious. Obviously, two bipolar opposites. We know the point.
So I sent her and she said, great pick. And I said, shh, don't tell anybody. We look good together, with a laughing face and a kissy face. And
I hate him. He's so funny with that because he's saying it so flippantly with a laughy face and a kissy face. Why are you adding a kissy face anyway? Hello? I don't know if he's married or anything, but the point is, why you're adding something there to kind of see, how's the water feeling? Is the water hot? Is it warm enough for me to dip in, or is it too cold? Is it too cold? Michael Eric Dyson wanted to see what that pussy could do, or what that mouth did.
My point was, shh, don't tell anybody, because we are bipolar opposites. You're on one side of the spectrum and I'm on the other side of the spectrum. And she said, ha, 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 ha. And I said, well, your gorgeousness makes the photo so there.
Boom, boom. I'm glad he read that because I was going to show y'all. I thought he didn't read it. But then he says that. He says, your gorgeousness. Why? Hold on. You're doing a lot. You're doing a lot. First of all, he didn't even need to DM her at all. Take the photo for this host of the show who suggested y'all take a photo. Take it for her because you just couldn't say no. Take it for her and be gone. There's no need for you to then DM Nancy Mace and trying to see, what that pussy look like. What that white pussy look like.
There's that. And a little smiley face. Again.
And he's trying to act like it's nothing. Again. I just don't know how she could be getting other messages from this. What kind of mixed signal did she take away from this? Right? You see where his neck is not showing? I want to show it and choke it. I want to show it and show. I hate when men do this. They act like they're not giving you a message, but they're giving you a message. Don't act like you wasn't trying to see what Nancy Mason was gonna look like. Don't act like that. Michael Eric Dyson, please. Michael Eric Dyson, please.
I'm just saying.
I just we're two polar opposites. We're just two totally different people. It's the irony for me. It's just the irony. Boy.
That trying to be nice to her in the belief.
Oh, you're doing her a favor. Oh, I can't. I'm not even going to continue further. I cannot. You're doing her a favor. I'm just trying to be nice to her. She does not need your niceness, your kindness at all. Cut it out, child. Or I don't know what the difference between nice and kind. People be like, oh, it's totally different. How? It's a synonym. Cut it out. People just be making shit up. I'm not nice, I'm kind. Are you what? What are you talking about? Are you a good person? Are you nice or kind? What are you talking about? You're nice and kind. It's the same thing. Anyway. Let's end it there, y'all. That was so funny. Michael Eric Dyson trying to act like a fuck nigga. Damn, he is too old to be acting. How old is he? That was just too. When I saw that, I was like, are you serious? He is 65 years old. A man is a man is a man is a man. Let's just say that. All right. Thank you so much for listening, ladies and gents. Make sure you are subscribed. You are supporting this podcast in that manner, leaving a review, telling a friend and tell a friend, and I will check in with you all next time. Peace.